As a
Yep.
preliminary matter, this is Woody Knight, Chair of the Newbury Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Planning Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Peter Pecos,
Yes, sir.
Scott Kenter, Steve Mangian,
Here.
Larry Murphy, won't be with us today. Town staff, Kristen Grubbs.
Yes.
Applicants or representatives, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. 100 High Road, Tom Nevy.
Here.
Thanks, Tom. 100 High Road Engineer, John Moran.
Here, I
Moran,
actually responded for Tom.
Oh, okay. Thank you, John. And thank you, Tom. And 15 Central Street, Mike Becker. I'm sure he'll be joining us in a moment. Good evening, July 2nd, 2025. Opening meeting in the Newbury Planning Board is being conducted remotely consistent with the Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, which extends the Governor's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. GLC 30A 20 until June 30th, 2027. For this meeting, the Newbury Planning Board is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the Planning Board's agenda, which can be found on the town's website. You may join us by going to http://zoom.us and entering meeting ID number 832-714-13056, passcode 108790, or by calling in 1-929-205-6099 US and entering the meeting ID number and passcode when prompted. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video and or telephone conference. The meeting is also being broadcast live through local access cable channel 9 and on Zoom and at https://newburytv.wixsite.com/tnctv. And the recording will be available on the Newbury Access YouTube channel. Meeting business ground rules. Before we turn to the first item on the agenda, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. As chair, I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After speakers conclude their remarks, I'll go down the list of board members, inviting each by name to provide any comments, questions, or motion. For all attendees except board members and staff, please remember to mute your audio when you are not speaking. On Zoom, use the mute button. On the phone, use *6 to toggle to mute and unmute. There will be an opportunity for public comment and questions during the public hearing. After board members have spoken, I will afford the public an opportunity to comment and or ask questions. I will see questions and comments through the Zoom raise hand function. Video conference participants, to raise your hand, hover over the bottom of the Zoom window below the photo gallery and click on the image of the hand that appears. Please ensure that your name is fully and correctly displayed on the participant list. Telephone participants, to raise your hand in a Zoom meeting, hit *9 on your phone keypad. I will then allow questions and comments from the member of the public who have raised their hands in the order in which they are listed, which is determined by the order in which people click on the raise hand function. Each participant will be called on to provide his or her name and address, and then may ask questions or make a comment. Please do your best to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Your hand will be lowered when you have been given the floor for your questions. I will afford the applicant or his or her representative the opportunity to reply. I will then continue down the list of those in the raised hand column and again afford the applicant or representative an opportunity to speak. Should there be a written submittal of questions or concerns, they will be noted for the record. The participant, applicant, representative will be afforded the opportunity to speak if the issues raised have not yet been addressed. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Okay, so that's the preamble. First thing on the agenda, I have planning board minutes for June 18th, 2025. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the meeting minutes for June 18th, 2025? Seeing some nods. Very good. I'd entertain a motion to, if no one has any corrections or edits for the meeting minutes for June 18th, 2025, I'd accept a motion to accept the meeting minutes for June 18th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Steve. Roll call vote. Pete,
Yes, sir.
Steve,
Aye.
and I vote yes as well. And we still do not have Scott, and Larry's not here. So those are the meeting minutes for June 18th. Next is liaison reports and meeting reports. ZBA, Larry's not here. The next ZBA meeting will be on July 17th. Conservation Commission, they met last night. Everything that was on their agenda, there was nothing, no discussion. Everything was passed by either mostly because the applicants weren't ready. They needed to do some more things before they could meet again. So everything on the agenda got passed by. It was a fairly short meeting. So that was nice. And we'll see everyone next month. They're meeting once a month now. So then that leads us to MVPC, Kristen.
Thanks, Woody. So we had our monthly Merrimack Valley Planning Commission Regional Planners meeting last Thursday. Last one for the summer. They meet and take July and August off. So lots of good updates from staff. Couple interesting things I know I've mentioned before, but their GIS mapping team has redesigned a lot of the back end and some of the front end of MyMap, which is the web-based mapping data that Newbury has used for many years. And I would say, Martha and I were just talking the other day how much we rely on it. I use their data and looking at parcels and layers and all sorts of different resource layers and data layers. So that's all been updated. And if you go to the MyMap link on the town website, you'll get a little window that says, click here to go to the new version. So it's kind of a soft launch. So if people use it, if you have any questions, reach out to me. They've done some trainings and they're going to be working town by town to update some of the data that's in that. So it's very cool. They've done a lot of good work. And then let's see, their environmental program manager announced some funding focused on Merrimack River water quality improvements. It's a really quick turnaround. The applications for the funding are actually due the end of July, but it's a pretty, it's money that's being funneled from the state through Merrimack Valley Planning Commission. So the application is actually through the Planning Commission, and it's not a super extensive. So anyway, there's some discussions, and if people are sort of interested in thinking about ways that the town could apply for a project that helps to improve water quality in the Merrimack watershed. So even though part of Newbury's in the Parker watershed, we're still counted as in the lower Merrimack region, and therefore we're eligible for that funding. Can be used for planning grants, actual purchases of equipment, for instance. So a lot of people are thinking about if Newbury can take advantage of that in some way. Those are the high points from Merrimack Valley Planning Commission.
Very good. Thank you. I have 7:15. I do not see Scott. So I'm sorry, Tom, I'm gonna delay the opening of the public hearing for a few moments with the hopes of Scott joining us, because I am recused. So I apologize for that. That's all right to do that, correct, Kristen? We'll move on. And
Yeah,
Come-
maybe
come
I'll,
on. I mean, I know Scott's on planet Earth. Someone saw him today, correct?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't heard from him about having a problem, so maybe if someone reach out to him. If,
yeah, maybe when it makes sense, I can hop off and try to give him a call. Is that okay?
okay,
Okay.
because I don't want to hold Tom up any more than we have to. But we'll move on to, the applicants here for 15 Central Street, Mike Becker. See if he's on the participant list. Hmm. I don't see Mike Becker on here either. So we're at standstill for a moment, please. Have some patience. I'm sorry. I apologize for this. We might be going right back to you, Tom, if we figure out Scott's having trouble signing on or what's going on. So we'll know more in a moment.
No luck, unfortunately.
No luck as in no answer?
No, did not reach him.
Okay.
Um, so, I wonder if it might be possible, and I'm not positive, if we could open the hearing with the 3 members, and then Woody, you would recuse yourself from participating in the hearing. How does that sound to my fellow board members?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to open the meeting and then for some reason Scott never appears.
Right, we wouldn't be able to
So-
take, we wouldn't be able to take any votes unless Scott's here.
Yeah.
So we have to actually wait for 3 voting members. And so basically, it's as though Woody's out of the room right now.
And for some reason Mike Becker's not here, so we can't jump to him. The only other thing we could jump to is your planners report, Chris.
All right. If anyone else wants to
I've tried.
try Scott, okay. All right, thanks, Pete.
Hopefully everything's all right,
All right.
Scott.
Report. Okay, so today was an exciting day. It was our first day of our new assistant planner, who's Sadie Woodward. She has been doing some part-time work with the Open Space Committee, working on the open space and rec plan for the town since January. And she also has a background in sustainability and environmental planning. She's done some watershed association work, and she also has some experience working with David Hall, who's, as some of you may know, a housing developer who's a Newbury resident and works out of Newburyport. So super excited. She'll be full-time here, working hand in hand with me on all sorts of planning related things. So the board will I think you've all met her, but we'll see her on Zoom at a future meeting. We finished the fiscal year, which is exciting. That's my 1-year anniversary as planning director. So I survived thanks to all of you and Martha's continued guidance. And so Sadie and I spent a little time today looking at our fiscal year 25 goals, thinking about, where are we with things we put as goals for the year, and we're in pretty good shape. So I'd love to maybe put that on a future agenda to talk more with the board about, and then look at the fiscal year 26 goals. Those goals were established as part of the budget submission, which was done in the winter for the fiscal year cycle. So we can revisit fiscal year 26. It's very hard to believe we're talking about 2026, but let's see, a couple of project things. We got Scott Kinter and Martha Taylor out on the property for 34 Central this morning. So our next, the continued public hearing for that project, July 16th, we all will have been on the parcel. They're going to be submitting revised civil engineering plans and architectural plans. So we've actually decided to have our next hearing for that, our next meeting for that particular public hearing, focus on those two things, engineering and architectural plans. And we're gonna save the traffic discussion for the following meeting. So I will certainly notify abutters and people who are interested in that project, sort of what the focus of each discussion will be. Everything's always open in those hearings, but we're trying to tailor each one so people can prepare and review plans in advance. So the next two meetings will probably be busy. We also have other continued public hearings coming up, and we have a couple other projects. We've been waiting, as you all know, the Seagate development, 105 High. One of the last things we've been waiting on there is for the state to review the conservation restriction on the open space. And we've been waiting for months to get the state's legal team to review that. And we just heard this week that they have, and they only have very minor comments. So that piece of the closing out of that project will be proceeding. The conservation restriction deed has to get signed by the state, signed by the Conservation Commission, signed by the select board. So there's still a number of steps. There needs to be a baseline report done of the condition of the property, but all of that is finally moving ahead. So I'll keep you all posted on that. Are any of those phone numbers, Scott? Do we know? No. Okay. We've got a couple local numbers, but I don't recognize them. Those are my updates. I could probably keep talking for a while, but I don't have anything prepared.
Do we have Mike Becker with us yet?
I don't know his phone number, so I don't know if any of the folks on the phone want to introduce themselves. Just let us know who you are. That would be helpful. If anyone is Mike Becker.
And if they're having trouble unmuting, I believe it's *6. I just said it, but I'll confirm that. Just read it.
Woody, we might be having a very short meeting.
Say that again?
I said, we might be having a very short meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we're dragging it out now. I'm trying to be fair for Tom and,
Right.
you know, he's put a lot of effort into being ready for today, so I just want to be fair to him, but there comes a time where we're gonna have to call it, I think. If there's a telephone participant that, I think I have it here now. That's having trouble unmuting, it's *6 to unmute. In case, if one of them's Mike Becker.
Yeah, it's possible that Mike Becker isn't planning on joining us till about 8 o'clock.
No, I know, that happens sometimes too. It's, the way the agenda is set up with times, but it's also planning it out so we know what's going on, so. I don't have contact information for Mike Becker.
So
It's-
I think,
I texted Scott with no reply, so.
yeah,
hopefully
I think
everything's
the
okay.
way we would need to handle this is, you know, as Pete has already said, we can't proceed legally without a quorum. So I think the chair is authorized to adjourn, well, reschedule the public hearing for a later date.
So. Let me just find it so I can read it, please. I guess unfortunately, Tom, we're gonna reschedule the public hearing for our next meeting. I apologize for not having the quorum for you tonight. I would entertain a motion to reschedule the public hearing, and the date of that would be the 16th, correct? July 16th, Kristen?
Well, so unfortunately, I'm not an attorney and I don't know if we need to renotice everybody. But my anticipation, and Tom, you may have more experience or be familiar with the notice requirements. But my anticipation is we would need to renotice.
Well, I'm not that familiar with the notice requirements. We'll certainly find out about them, and if we have to renotice, we certainly will. I would think not, because the original agenda did post the meeting and
Yeah.
was interested, and everyone who is on the abutters list got notice of that. So people that
Correct.
wanted to participate would have been on this call, or they certainly have notice. No one outside of that ever got notice, other than, you know, on your town website. So I would
Right,
venture to think
the
no,
newspaper.
but we certainly will do, you know, if you want to consult with town council, fine. I'll certainly ask our lawyer as well. But it's been my experience that once the notice is out for the meeting, then that's, you know, that's duly
You,
authorized, and we move on from there. But nobody,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want a technical default for any reason either. So we'll find out, and we'll do whatever we have to do in order to make that happen. But if I can be
So-
on just a simple matter, it's an administrative matter, and maybe it's a question for you, Kristen, but we posted, you know, the retainer for the engineer, and I was hoping that you had contacted them and got them going on the, you know, the review of the project, because now that we're delayed, that's fine. Tonight, we would have given you a preview of coming attractions anyway, and then I'm sure that we would have been more substantive once the technical review was made. So this doesn't really bother me. It's unfortunate, but that's fine. Things happen. But it would be nice if we did have a technical report to review and answer by the next meeting, if that's at all possible.
So
Yeah, the town's peer review engineer has the materials and has been given notice that we have the funds and he should begin work. So I'm happy to follow up with him and see when he anticipates having a first round of comments.
That would be
yeah.
great. That would be great. Thanks so much.
Sure. Yeah.
So Tom, I just want you to know, you know, I've been on the planning board, I don't know how many years now, more than a couple, and this is the first time we've not had a quorum to open a public hearing. So it's
Okay.
very unusual. You know, we usually have, you know, something obviously came up in one of our members' schedule because he was planning to be here, and I apologize.
And no apology necessary. I completely understand. And I know the dedication of the board. And, you know, if I can do anything, this is our first project in Newbury and we're excited about it. I have to thank Kristen for all her work over the last 30 days to make sure that we crossed all T's and dotted all I's. And she was incredibly helpful in making sure the administrative part of our submission was done. So, you know, this time is
That's
well spent, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Okay, and I apologize as well, Tom. There must be something wrong. Hopefully nothing's wrong, but we expected to see Scott this evening, so unfortunately we don't have the quorum, and I apologize.
Completely understand, and enjoy the rest of your night and have a happy 4th. I'll see you.
Do you want to have a motion to reschedule this meeting? To
Do
the
I
16th?
need to do that because we didn't open the public hearing?
We have not opened it, no. So I think you could probably just make it administrative and just indicate it's going to be postponed. To
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Just for anyone that's might be on here tonight for this public hearing, I'll just state that this has been continued to July 16th at 7:15 p.m.
To be
It
opened.
will be, to be opened, and it will be on the agenda. And if it needs to be reposted, as we discussed, we'll be in contact on. But hopefully, because the abutters are notified, they're expected to be here. If they want to be here, they've got notification that this will start July 16th at 7:15. So, all right, have a good night.
Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me.
Yes, please
Hi.
identify yourself.
Hi, I'm representing Two Knights Court, and I was on the meeting to hear about the project on High Road next to Tender Crop, the 2 houses you're putting in. Just to be clear, you're going to reschedule this meeting on July 16th. Is that correct?
Yes, because we do not have a quorum tonight for the public hearing itself.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear that it was July 16th, that it was actually going to happen.
Yep, no, and we have a quorum issue this evening for the public hearing, and so we have to continue it to the 16th. So my apologies for that.
Thank you.
And just a
Okay.
point of clarification, Woody, since we schedule these meetings all at 7:15, there might be a meeting ahead that will start first, and then the second meeting will follow directly after that.
Yep, we'll list them in order on the agenda. I have nothing else on the agenda. We do not have Mike Becker here. Mike Becker going once. Mike Becker going twice. All right. Unfortunately, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have
I'll
a
have to
second?
second it.
All right, all those in favor, roll call vote. Peter,
Yes, sir.
Steve,
Aye.
and I vote yes as well. Sorry once again, and we'll see everyone on the 16th. Have a good night, everyone.